Hi guys, and welcome to Planet Coaster. So today we're working on something a little bit different. I have previously said I'd never work on a park, but it's a bit of a geeky park because as I'm sure you can tell from the title, this is a remake of Bumbly Beach, a level in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. And we're remaking that today. As soon as I heard we were getting the scenario editor, it was something that I wanted to make so that it's available for everyone to play as a level on Planet Coaster as well. I thought that'd be really fun. So as you can see at the minute, we're just laying out some pathing, trying to stick to the grid here. The way I planned it is that every 4 meter square on Planet Coaster is one of the squares on Roller Coaster Tycoon. Kind of worked for the best part. Although not for everything. Obviously some of the rides, particularly the coaster, they don't quite fit the same sizes as you get in Roller Coaster Tycoon. But overall I think it looks pretty good. So just working here on the entrance building, trying to find the best pieces to go in for these sort of sticky out little bits. Couldn't quite find what I wanted, colours were off, things like that, but I think in the end what we come out with looks really good. Just to say, everything we're filming at the minute is in 1.3. At the end when I finished, I don't actually show this on the footage, but I did throw it into the 1.4 update, made it into a scenario that's now playable and it's available on my workshop to download and play. Slightly different, only slightly, but slightly different objectives to what you've got in the actual Roller Coaster Tycoon version, simply because if I'd have put down it's something like get 600 guests in the park or something, and basically all you'd have to do was open the park and there would be 600 guests in it, so it was a bit easy. So it ends up being a little bit more on the one I've made, something like 1,200, but I sort of tried to stick to the similar idea of what the goals were. So it's about getting the guests in and the park rating, and by the end of year 2. So as you can see here, making the entrance building, I think it came out pretty good looking. This is available on the workshop, just as a workshop item in itself, if you want to throw this entrance into any of your own parks. The link for that is down in the description. I was really struggling with this archway. You'll see there I'm trying to rotate the pieces. It just wasn't working well for me. We did get there in the end though. Glamour shot there of the workshop item. So here I'm just making the fences to go around the park. I want to sort of theme them. I know Planet Coaster has its own border for a park. I just wanted to theme it so it was a little bit more like the Roller Coaster Tycoon one, and then just copying and pasting this around the park. Again, dropping some little path pieces down just to try and get the scale right. And as you'll see here, I had a bit of a faff here with the wheel, because I think in Roller Coaster Tycoon the wheel is literally 1 square wide, and on this it doesn't really fit to the grid at all. I think it's probably about three pieces, so you'll see that the back end of the wheel there is just sticking outside of the park, but I think it's alright. I think it works well. One of the things I was most excited about working on here, and it actually ended up being a bit difficult and was really annoyed, the end of the footage didn't actually film, but you get an idea of how we made it. This is the entrance buildings, the classic Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2 entrance and exit for the rides. I did have a look at using sort of the gridded pieces there to make this roof. We ended up having to do a custom roof because just nothing was fitting on that small 1x1 square. But what we end up with I think looks really good. Again, these items, as with the entrance building, are available on the workshop just to download and throw in. Also, the whole park is available on there as a scenario. So as you've just seen, we've just made the sort of base of the wheel to try and make it look a little bit more like the ones from Roller Coaster Tycoon. It has that sort of soil base. We use the gingerbread pieces and a couple of just a simple roped fence going around the edge, but I think it works really well. Here I looked at the different queue pathing. None of them quite came out with that Roller Coaster Tycoon feel, so I ended up making a custom one using lots of little pieces. The piece count for this park actually ended up huge. If you click on the building, I tried to make a lot of pieces all in the same building. As I say, I'm sticking to one grid. If you end up clicking on that building, it can really take a while for the game to load. It takes a while for it to catch up. And anyway, yeah, just making the signs to go over each of the queue lines. We actually use the same building, like entrance and exit building, and the same queue lines and the same signs for all of the rides. So if you look, after we've made this sort of base queue here, we just copy them around over to either side. Here we're making I think it's the carousel over this side. Again, same principle, throwing all the pieces together and then putting on that gingerbread base to make it look more like it did back in the Roller Coaster Tycoon days rather than Planet Coaster. So I'm going to leave you here with the rest of the video. Please let me know what you think. Feedback is always welcome. If you did like it, make sure to give it a like. If you didn't, a dislike. And please comment below. I'd love your feedback. I'd love to know if you had a go at the game, at this scenario, and what you thought. Was it difficult? Was it too easy? I feel like I ended up making it a little bit more difficult than it actually was in Roller Coaster Tycoon, because it ended up being a really easy. It was a really easy level back in the days of the actual game, so I made it a little bit more difficult here. But I'd love your feedback. Yeah, if you have enjoyed, as I say, please give a comment, a like. And if I get a lot of positive feedback, I might try some of the other old Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2 levels. There's a lot of classics in there that I'm sure I enjoy revisiting, and I'm sure you guys will too. So yeah, leave your feedback, and thanks for watching.